Welcome to Flavor Balance Heat, the podcast for hot sauce lovers and makers.
I just got into the main market co-op here in Spokane, and that was one of the things that I was really excited about was getting. I brought 3 extra bottles. We got 3 flavors in there. I brought 3 extra bottles, and I asked Pat. I was like, "Can I put this over in the cafe?" And he's like, "Yes, please do that." So I was excited that with their burritos and different things that they're making, they just switched up their menu and they've got a bunch of to-go sandwiches and different things too. I was so excited that I had 3 bottles over there too, which was fun.
Pat's such a nice guy. By the way, give him a t-shirt.
Okay.
He's a t-shirt guy. Every time we come out with a new t-shirt, he's like on it. I want that t-shirt.
Yeah. he is really awesome. He was my beer buyer back in the day, and he left on the beer side, and he left. And then I was excited to come. He came. He sent me an email. He's like, "Hey man, I need that hot sauce." So Pat's a really good guy. I'll remember that on the shirt then.
There you go.
Well, I brought honey garlic carrot from Female Rage hot sauce. Have you guys seen?
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I got to meet her in person at the New York Expo. We didn't get a chance to talk to her very much. It was kind of a whirlwind trip in New York. But yeah, I got to see her. She came to the Heatness party and got to meet those guys, which was fun, and obviously see the hot sauce show. And I haven't had a chance to try it yet, but I'm looking forward to it. Honey garlic carrot sounds delicious.
Looks really
that
good.
Sounds awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And I like
the
label looks really nice. I know she used to do just that circle label, and now she's got a full whole label too, which I think is a good step forward. So I
know she was really nice, and I'll give her an extra shout out because when she went with Blue Label, she gave us a shout. She told them,
"Oh yeah, that's right,"
because I had mentioned it to them, and so we got some money off of our next bill. So thank you very much. Yeah, it was really a big surprise.
Yeah, so if anybody's listening and they're going to switch to Blue Label, just mention either Spike or I when you do it.
Yeah, seriously.
Which I didn't know that they did that until I had already sent some people their way, and they were like, "Oh, by the way," and I was like, "Oh, great."
I know, cha-ching.
Yeah,
it really came in handy when we really needed that at the time.
Yeah,
every little bit helps on labels or bottles or anything like that. Any discount helps.
Yeah. Oh my God, we're in like label. Well, I mean, I would say label design hell, but that's different than your label design hell, Spike.
I just got done with mine yesterday.
Oh, nice. Well, we're doing a new caramel for the holidays, like a limited run caramel, and that's all maple sugar sweetened, so there's no cane sugar in it. And this is a recipe that we've actually been making for me for a few years, but only for me because I just want to be able to eat it because I can't eat cane sugar. And my board was like, "Why do you make this thing that you don't sell to anybody?" I was like, "Oh yeah, I should do that, huh?" So we're designing the label for it, and I'm in Adobe Illustrator, and I know Photoshop really well, but Illustrator is a little bit more out of my wheelhouse, and I always just end up in these like ridiculous situations where I know exactly what I want it to do, and I just can't get it to do it. And I spent literally 8 hours on Friday, and I got it done. I got it made, and I sent it to Blue Label just for a press proofs. Which so they sent me the press proof so that I can look at the paper and the color, and we're doing a gold foil and and so the label isn't done, but at least I got it done enough that I could get the colors and
does Matt at Blue Label lie to you like he lies to me and tell you that you're really good at Adobe and you do a good job? Because he's so good. He makes me feel so good, and I know it's absolutely not true.
Well, maybe it's not, because he doesn't say that to me. Actually, the only thing he said to me was that one of the things that's annoyed me about the proofs that they send, the digital proofs, is that they're JPEGs and they have JPEG artifacts on them. And he said to make sure that the resolution is right, because we did have some resolution errors in the very beginning with some whatever they call in fonts, this I don't know, it would end up rasterizing it and it would give some. So I always zoom into 400%, which is what Matt told me to do. Always zoom into 400%, but then I could see the JPEG artifacts on it. And I was like, I just want to make sure that these are JPEG artifacts and not in the actual proof. And he was like, well, it's really great that you zoom in that far because most people don't. I was like, you told me to. That's what I'm doing.
There you go. Yeah, they're really good to us. They take good care of us. We were accidentally getting our, labeling design is not something we've talked about as much on here, but getting our, getting the bleed section right. And we were off a little bit for a long time, and I didn't know it. They were just so nice. And then Matt very kindly was like, we actually have to alter all of yours just a little bit every single time. And I'm like, oh, send me over the guide, man. And they did, and we've adjusted everything, and hopefully we got it right. I'm like, hey, let us know if it's not, please.
Right. That's nice. That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
We work with a local printer, and they definitely have had that conversation with us as well.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine navigating everybody's label, everything all the time. Like right? just all the ridiculousness of the quality of their design, and then also having private thoughts about the quality of their design, even if they want it. But then also the nitpickiness. I mean, people are very particular about what they want out of it, and they want it to be exactly this way. And, I can't imagine trying to navigate all that. That sounds intense.
I'm an asshole. I mean, I'll just say it. I am awful. There's a couple of printers. There's one in Spokane, and there's another one in Seattle that had were trying to get us to jump on board, and they made some alterations, just minor alterations. And I was like, nope, I just wasn't having it. And in retrospect, I should have been a little bit more tolerant of it, because it wasn't anything that bad. But if they don't come to me first before they make the alteration, I tend to be reactive. I'm not good at that. Yeah. So I burnt some bridges. Let's just put it that way.
We have a local label printer that most people I know in Vermont use, because they're, good quality and local and all of that stuff. And I had just the most horrible experience with them. And it happened like twice, basically. And I was like, nah, I just can't. Like, we're so fixated on local and not on that, because I'm like, just they messed up on a print, and then they didn't make it right, and they weren't helping me with my deadline, even though they were the ones who made the mistake. And it just and then they were trying to charge me for their mistake.
We had a problem like that with this t-shirt place not that long ago, and I know where I'm going. I'm going to keep going to the same place. Terminus in Atlanta has been very good to us. So nice. That's who we got. So let's see, where are we at?
What is next?
Do you have any questions? Next? Yeah.
I do have questions.
Yeah.
I had questions for all three of you.
I'm sorry. It is what is next. Claire's right. Okay. I read the wrong place. I'm sorry.
Well, we also should keep this going, because we don't want to run it too long.
Yeah, so definitely, we kind of already talked about this earlier. Definitely going to need to kind of move on like our own facility. But as far as hot sauces are concerned, we were so locked this year, just chasing inventory, getting to the bottles that, the 5 flavors that we're making right now. We kind of postponed. We normally launch at least 1 flavor a year since we've opened. We kind of postponed any launches this year, just because it's not a good look when you're coming out with new things and you're telling your retailers that you can't fulfill the things that they're actually ordering. So we kind of paused new innovation. We definitely have been playing with some recipes in the background, and waiting to ship for some approvals. So I know, like, Spike, you just came out with the Ghost pickle sauce. We definitely had a Serrano pickle sauce that we kind of work. I love Serrano, so I'm trying to incorporate some of the things that I grew up loving, which was Serranos and Tomatillos. Some of the stuff that my dad used to make in California. So there's definitely that going on, but also something, Claire, and you might understand this from and Spike, just from like the beer world in general. Beer was always not necessarily craft beer, but when I worked for the distributor side, they would always say that beer was recession proof, because your portfolio had high end, middle, and low end beers. And so something that I've noticed in at least the world that I'm working in is like, you can have, like, we have a hard time lowering the cost, just all the fresh ingredients that we're using right now. So we do see these ebbs and flows due to economical things. And we definitely have been told several times at farmers markets, I can't spend $10 on hot sauce. We totally understand that. My heart is in that too. And so one of the things that we're trying to do is diversify our offerings as far as maybe we've been kind of hardcore with everything has to be fresh ingredients. Everything has to be, we're buying from local farmers as best we can and all of that. To try to compete in that world, like in the world that we're in, and at least in the diner world, it's kind of a default to just have Tabasco because they can get these giant bottles that are very cheap. We're trying to come up with a way, and it might be a size, it might be a size or two bigger than what we're currently doing, but we're trying to come up with a way, less fresh ingredients. We have these awesome partners in Spokane that we work with our dry ingredients. It's Micklich Spice. They have a dry hot sauce, and we've tried to just kind of figure out a way we can incorporate that into a bottle. It hasn't quite worked out, but my sister-in-law, Rebecca, she's the one who come up with like the rum honey recipe that we currently sell. She hears me say these things, and she has come up with a sauce that is smoky, which is kind of like in our wheelhouse, way more on the chipotle side, but it is with those. I don't want to say cheaper ingredients, but just less of the fresh ingredients, a little bit more attainable, and like get us a price tier below the $10. And then we also have our super premiums, which, we have a couple holiday drop ideas that we have for our Smoky Ghost that use other premium fruits and different things from this area. So diversifying what we're offering and having like a $5 bottle option as well. Instead of just what we would do is we would feel really bad and then we would just do these steep discounts. And that was kind of hurting. That was also hurting us in a way because we weren't buying cheap. We're still buying all of our peppers locally. Which Claire, I know that's something that you talk about with Vermont.
Yeah.
Like we were buying all of our Fresno peppers from California last year. And one of our local farmers heard us talking about that. And he was like, hey, we'll put 8 rows of Fresno peppers from you. And so this season, all of our recent batches have been Fresno peppers grown here locally from a really awesome organization called Vets on the Farm. So
nice.
So just that, diversifying that offering and trying to get a $5 hot sauce. It might have to be in a giant jug to make it worth our time, but I think there's a lot of restaurants. I've spoken to a couple of my restaurant friends that say, yeah, that's a decent idea.
I'm Claire George. I own Butterfly Bakery of Vermont. We make hot sauce, mustard, cookies, and granola, and 100% of our products are made with Vermont ingredients. The thing that I hear most often from people is that my hot sauce tastes like the peppers that are in it. We do really simple recipes that don't get too crazy and nitpicky, just to really accentuate the flavor of the peppers that are in there. The unique thing about our hot sauces is how much we feature the farm and the relationship with the farm and really bring the terroir of Vermont to our hot sauces. I am pretty sure I am the #1 purchaser of Vermont-grown chili peppers. I would love it if there would be a legitimate pepper market in Vermont where people would know Vermont for its peppers. We're all better for supporting each other. And I think that part really shows itself with the collaborations that I do with the other businesses and the other farms, that I love working together and coming up with new ideas and presenting each other with new challenges. And I think overall that's the attitude here. And I absolutely love it because that's my attitude. I try to live my life with love. The ingredients that I use, I would say that my values are reflected in that I use ingredients that, again, feel good, feel loving, feel supportive. The relationship with the farmer was how it all began. If I changed the reason for it being, if I went out and bought some commodity peppers, it might not be as good.
You can find Butterfly Bakery of Vermont hot sauce, mustard, granola, and cookies at butterflybakeryvt.com.
We haven't opened it up to like sampling outside of we're very we want to refine it ourselves first. We haven't really opened it up to sampling just yet, but we do want to launch new flavors next year and then diversify the mix a little bit.
Nice.
There you go. Awesome. So do you have questions for us then?
Yeah. Claire, I've tried to do my homework and listen to every single episode, and
Wow.
I love hearing you talk about the manufacturing side and like helping other people, because obviously like we're kind of in that. We as far I heard you talking about you had a partner that wanted these big jugs, and you said never again, you never do it. Do you have is there a large package for hot sauce that you would fill again?
Yeah, wait, did I say never again for large ones? I said never again for teeny tiny ones. They were like like itty bitty.
I definitely heard the smaller one, but I thought there was a guy who had like a big 40-ounce jug of something that you told him no because of the cooling. You couldn't get it to fill hot enough or something like that.
Well, so we do gallon jugs for a couple of our clients.
And me.
And well, that's a half gallon.
Oh, that's true.
We're starting to explore gallons for ourselves as well as a food service size. So we did just recently fill some gallons of smoked onion. We're going to try to do it because the half gallons glass we're kind of doing for customers who want like the really big size. The gallons we're trying to think of more like food service. And so doing not our whole lineup, but like our heady topper mustard and our smoked onion hot sauce, which are our two most popular, stuff like that. So we're kind of like along those lines. So yeah, we do gallons. I don't remember us saying never again.
So I guess the question would be, what is the one that you're filling that you like, that your gallon size? Does it have the small cap or is it a big cap?
It's a big cap. It's like It's like that, and it's a food service plastic high temp fill, so we can fill it right, at 200 without dealing with any paneling or anything like that.
Yeah. The reason why I asked is because we struggle with the big jugs. That's the reason why they were texting me during this, was they would rather not fill them if they didn't have to. If I don't have a customer lined up for them, right? We're having an issue with like the sealing part of that.
Okay.
It's a hot fill plastic. We paid extra for it. They are very expensive. But the sealing side of it, we've had a lot of issues.
So I'm guessing yours are pressure sensitive lids then instead of induction seal.
Yeah, you want to do the induction.
You want to do the induction. Yeah.
It's like a $300 machine.
We've done it both ways. We have client, they'd send us their caps, we fill them. It's up to them what they do with it past there. But the issue with the pressure sensitive seal is that it does seal, but when you think about if anybody squeezes that container, the amount of force that's coming up on that pressure sensitive seal is intense, and it's just really prone to bursting in transport. If you're putting it in a box, you're shipping it, etc. Induction seal actually melts the plastic. And so it's not glue, it's actually melted plastic that seals it. And so it's a hermetic seal in a way that pressure sensitive seal is not. So if you're just doing, we've got two induction sealers. One is a like you hold it with your hand and you like dink and wait for the noise and you take it off. And then we have another one that's actually just that it runs through on a belt. And so with those big ones, we just do the dunk one and it's fine. It's like a minute on each one or something. And it seals it. And you buy the machine once. We've owned this machine, I think since 2019, like we've had it forever. It just keeps chugging along. So yeah, I would recommend that.
Yeah. We did the manufactured suggestions, and then what ends up happening is we do it in the kitchen on Sunday, and then I go in on Monday to go try to sell them. And then I come in and then there's just this leaky disaster. And I'm like, no. So that's why I asked. Like,
you said that it's a leaky disaster. Does that mean you're not storing them upright? Are you inverting them? Is that?
So the first time we inverted them and left them inverted, and then they all they end up unsealing. And
yes.
So we've had better success not leaving them overnight like that. But that being said, we still we'll make 12 of them at a time because they fit in the 6-packs really nicely. I'll go in there and before I label them, and then we put like a anti-break seal on it or whatever. So when I go back in there, I notice as I'm picking them up, I notice that the cap is like it doesn't even feel like it's tight, and I can squeeze air out of it. So. Yeah. So it's a bummer. We've had a lot of loss. We've done a lot of chicken marinade with some of our sauces because
So
and not being able to sell it to public. So I'm like, I guess we're having chicken wings tonight.
Yeah. So what I would say there, plastic caps are just horrible for warping. We have a couple clients who use plastic caps, and on a hot sauce bottle, a plastic cap's not as big of a deal because it's so small, so it can't really warp that much. But we do a hot maple syrup on a 38-400 cap, which is like a stout bottle. And when we first started using those, the cap is it's short and it's big, and we would lay them on their side. At that time we were putting everything on its side and leave them there, and they would just leak everywhere because the cap would warp under that heat. And so what we have learned since, and this is something that's really going to depend on who your process authority is and if they allow it, you don't have to invert. And that feels wild to say because it's like right there in the like FDA paperwork. You don't have to invert. You do have to get your process authority to agree to let you not invert. But we do not invert our giant containers because of the warping, the leaking, the warping and leaking. Pressure sensitive caps take 24 hours to cure, so they are not even sealed when you're inverting, and that's not okay.
I feel like that's what we learned the first time very easily.
No, and we've learned that lesson too, and it's a mess. Sticky mess. Oh God, yeah. But the argument to bring to your process authority about whether or not they'll let you do this, when you submit to the FDA, when you submit it for scheduled process, it says, what is your like method for the closure? I don't remember the exact wording, but there is a line where it says steam flow or inversion. And then it has some other options too. Those are the two options. And you always choose inversion because you put it on its side or you flip it upside down. Choose steam flow. So steam flow, there is a thing called a steam flow capper that actually injects steam in as you're capping. And a lot of people say, well, that's what steam flow means. Well, what do you think is coming off of your 180 degree sauce?
That's what I was going to say.
What is going to survive with that much room between your 180 degree sauce and your cap? Nothing is going to. That is getting steam treated by the hot sauce that's in there itself. So that's the argument to bring to your process authority. Depending on who your process authority is, they might require some kind of microbial test or heat. I forgot the name for the heat test, but they might require something like that. But it was actually my process authority who said that to me when I was like, what do we do about this? And he was like, don't invert. And so we invert everything else. We put inversion on every other submission we do. But if it's for our 5-gallon buckets, our 1 gallon plastic containers, our plastic lid stout bottles, the submissions we do for those say steam flow on them instead. And we've never had the FDA say boo. So
you just blew my mind with 5-gallon buckets, by the way. I never even thought of that.
Yeah. No, I mean,
someday.
You said blew your mind with what?
The 5-gallon buckets.
The 5-gallon bucket. Yeah.
We never even thought of that. Someday.
This year I had to call Claire. Hey, Claire, how do you do 5-gallon buckets?
Well, and it's a good thing you did because we've made mistakes on 5-gallon buckets. So, that headspace thing, it's real. And, when you've got a couple, an inch, half an inch of headspace on a Woozy bottle, you need that same amount of headspace on a 5-gallon bucket, which on a 5-gallon bucket looks really, really full. And yes, that is what it's supposed to be. Really, really full. We had buckets that when we were first testing out, we make our in-house, we make this stuff we call hot sauce base, which is just vinegars and peppers. And we just pre-cook that and run it through the mill. And that way we don't have to mill or onions or cilantro or herbs or something that we want those particulates in there. And so we'll make hot sauce base, and we were putting it in the freezer initially because we were like, we need to go through all the tests and make sure this is safe and we can do this. And when you freeze things, they expand. And so we were putting 38 pounds of hot sauce base into a bucket and putting it in the freezer. And then when we started not putting it in the freezer, we were still putting 38 pounds, which is about this much headspace. For those listening, that's, 4 or 5 inches. And you know what you do what happens when you put that much headspace in something and then you just sit it out at room temperature? Mold. We learned it's fine. Now we actually just freeze it because it's just easier to freeze it. We just don't have to worry about the buckets or anything.
Making bad mistakes and having to fix them. It's like one after another.
And you make the mistakes in-house.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, that's what this show's for, is for that. We talk to other, hot sauce makers specifically to kind of weed out that stuff. It makes it easier for us.
Well, and we're all in our own little learning silo. So like, let's unsilo that shit.
Well, you don't even know how many times I have timestamped something that Claire or Spike or even Zach has said process wise, and then sent it to Chris and Rebecca and Zach, and then because they're not as committed, they're not as hot sauce geeky as I am. They're not committed to listening to the whole show. I'll say go to 16 minutes and listen to what Claire said about this. So thank you all, and tell welcome. Zach this for me. You guys have saved us so many things in the last 2 years since I kind of stumbled upon. So here's the true deal. I thought that I was like beer podcasts were really, really hard, and until I found you, hot sauce podcasts are way harder to listen to until I found you guys. But you guys are doing something different where you're actually trying to help, like other makers, just other people. And I like what you guys have done with the influencers too. Like your last episode with the super hot Mike or whatever that guy is, like
Mike Jack,
Mike Jack, yeah. The stuff that you do with the influencers is helpful as well, because you get to it's like a little look behind the curtain of. I mean, I know you guys get this too. I get influencers all the time in my inbox saying, "Oh, send us the sauce," and we got burnt early, and I've been very weary of doing this ever again. But like listening to a little bit of his process and how he does things was really helpful. So thank you for what you guys are doing for just not just podcasts, but just what you're doing for like hot sauce makers. And Claire, we have a running joke that we would never, like, one of the first things that people started telling us at the farmers markets was, you guys should make a mustard. So like this has been internalized by us that we would never make a mustard. And my sister-in-law, the first time I sent her a clip, you were talking about one of the mustard issues that you ran into.
Yeah.
And my sister-in-law texted me back. She goes, "I know you made me listen to that just to hear about the mustard problems." And we were laughing so hard. It's like, we like when you come to a hot sauce booth and you give free advice, people are mad about it. Like just know that.
Yeah.
We're going to have to get a t-shirt set with that, making hot sauce empowers you, making mustard humbles you.
Making hot sauce is empowering, making mustard is humbling. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. At the New York Hot Sauce Expo, some people came up to our booth, and it was right at the very beginning. It was madness there, but right at the very beginning, we actually had time for conversation. And we were talking about, I mentioned the mustards, and I was like, oh, our hard cider smoked onion mustard just won gold in the worldwide mustard competition for the whole seed mustards. And these guys were like, there's like a mustard competition. And then, and I was like, yeah, and it was, against some really big international names in the mustard world. And I was like, there's big names in the mustard world? Like what, like French is? And I was like, dude, you're at a hot sauce expo. Like, these are all condiments. Like, hot sauce isn't special. It's just a really popular condiment. And mustard is a cool condiment too. Thank you very much. Well, in the mustard world, we have made another change. It has been just another learning evolution in our mustard production. It never stops, and it never will. Mustard is, and our mustard keeps getting more popular, which is great because it gives us more chance to like learn every single time.
Yeah. Well, I'm all in on the Heady Topper mustard as well. So
if you want to do a trade, because I haven't
seen. I see that ad, I'm buying. I'm clicking.
But if you want to do a trade, I haven't tried your sauces, and I would love to. And yeah, we can send an email to the Flavor Balance Seed email with your address, and I'll send you. And
I'll make my sister-in-law have the mustard at the new facility when that happens.
Dude, Gustard is so good.
Gustard is so good. It's so good. Yeah, I love that.
We need that shirt as well, because that was a great episode when you came up with
the. So let's see, where are we at?
Are you doing speed round? Are we still doing that?
Yeah, we are. Okay. And I didn't change them yet, but we're going to be changing the questions here real soon.
So I was prepared.
All right. So then quick answers, getting through it. All right. You win the lottery. What's the first hot sauce related thing you buy?
a facility
Yes, I knew that was coming.
Or a hot sauce packeter machine. I really love those.
If you had to give up the hot sauce business, but could do anything else, I'm going to throw in the beer businesses too, just to make this interesting. What would you do? Flavor Balance Heat, the podcast for hot sauce lovers and makers, is brought to you by Irish Spike's unique hot sauces and Vandal pepper sauces. I'm Spike, the owner and executive saucier. Our sauces are handmade in the Pacific Northwest using the best possible ingredient. We believe that hot sauce equates to a balance of sensational heat coupled with a robust and complex flavor profile. Live your hottest life with Irish Spikes. Irish Spike's unique hot sauces and Vandal pepper sauces are available at sauceco.com.
I originally went to school to be a school teacher, so I would go back and teach. I'm trying to get on the emergency sub list right now, just because I kind of have flexibility with I can make my deliveries in the morning or in the evening. So that's awesome. Teach for sure.
That's why I love this question because of that. I'd have a hard time getting rid of that question because we get to know so much more about the people we're talking to. You get to use one hot sauce for the rest of your life. Desert Island. Well, I can't say it. Desert Island hot sauce. What is it?
I was prepared for this because this is real serious, and I'd probably buy 6 bottles of this from them a year. But this is Earthquake Spice, Death by Garlic, and this is the Death by Garlic roasted.
I've heard about this.
So this is like a variant that they have. Every one of their sauces is good. And this is like the first time I bought their sauce is because they have a sauce called Space Dust. And I was part of Elysian Brewing at one time, and I helped grow Space Dust to this like national brand. Anheuser-Busch ended up buying us. But I originally bought that Spice Dust because it had cinnamon and it was different. It was like a sauce that had cinnamon, and I was like, oh, I'm pouring this on a cinnamon roll. But then in my 3-pack, I got the original Death by Garlic, and that one was gone in like a day. And I was pouring it on chips, I was pouring it on hot dogs, I was pouring it on everything. But this roasted version is awesome, and this would be it for sure. Desert Island, I'm somehow going to have a case of this with.
There you go. Awesome. All right. They name a sandwich after you. What would be in it, and what kind of heat would you use?
It would be called Sloppy John, and it would be like a Sloppy Joe, but instead of like the traditional Sloppy Joe mix, we would use Smoky Ghost hot sauce. We do this already internally. And then I love a fresh jalapeno. I also love Serrano. So it would be a mix of either pickled Serrano, fresh jalapeno, or fresh Serrano, or
I like it. Jalapeno. That's the best one that one's had. If you could
and we
go
call
back
it a
in time,
Sloppy John, obviously.
I like the Sloppy John too. If you go back in time and change one thing about your business journey, what would it be?
Oh man. There's so many things that we could go here. I think we would work with local farmers sooner.
I can see that
because we were just we were like, oh well, Winco has this on sale, or we didn't know what we didn't know at the time. But yeah, like the local farmers that we've been working with in the last 16 months have been amazing, and I know Claire has that on that little commercial that she does on here about being like the biggest purchaser of Vermont peppers. Like we've been tracking the poundage that we've been buying from Vets on the Farm and our other partners here, and we're definitely trying to be at least the smallest business, largest purchaser here in Spokane.
Nice.
It's been great. That would definitely be it though. Buying more local ingredients sooner.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Let's see here. What's the best business advice you've ever received?
Well, other than the advice that you guys give out on the show that has saved us time and money and energy, I told you earlier the history of the mergers and acquisitions through the beer industry, and I left. I worked locally here at King Beverage, and I loved working at King Beverage. I was a King Beverage guy, and I thought I would end my career at King Beverage, and I took a chance on the whole brewery thing. And then like 9 months later, Anheuser-Busch bought that brewery, and it was like a real difficult situation for me. Then I was like, I'm going to go work for Anheuser-Busch. I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to do the right thing financially for my family. I'm going to do it. And then I did everything right. And then they laid off the whole craft division. And during that time, I was very, very bitter, and I was mad at the world. I was mad at beer. I was mad at all these things. And then I had a mentor from the King Beverage side that was like, "Hey man, every time a snake sheds its skin, it's still a snake." And I sat and I was like, "I don't understand what that means." And he was like, "You've sold Anheuser-Busch products your whole life, and you are like you're a King Beverage guy, you're a Budweiser guy, and this still happened to you." And he's like, "It's not Budweiser, it's these corporate snakes," he called them. So I took that with me into the next few jobs, and I think I was able to see the snakes better. And
Nice.
there's this thing that snakes do that is very fake, and I could sense it right away. So like when that happened to me at the next two craft beer jobs, I could see it from a mile away, and I would do my best to stop it. And part of like what we were doing at Melvin was trying to again incorporate more females on the team, because it was that was the trouble that they were in, is that they didn't understand that it's exactly what they needed. And so when that was pushed back against, I knew right away, I was like, this isn't going to work. And when that acquisition happened, that team was very, very adverse to what we had built. And I knew it was wrong. I knew I had to get out of there. And luckily, my brother in the family business was able to do this, because I love craft hot sauce, and there's definitely some snakes in this industry too. Don't get me wrong, but I go to where the positive is, and I avoid that. So
it's not as hard in this business to do that.
Yeah. It is a really great community.
Snake thing was the best, because it helped me through a hard time.
Nice. Yeah. Let's see what we got next. If you could collaborate with any hot sauce company, who would it be?
Well, I kind of already let the cat out of the bag that I was trying to do the 3-way thing with Casey Bowie, Boo's Hot Sauce, and the Three Ninjas guys. I still have that. I have the label already in my mind. I have like all these things, but I really need to get, like, they're not necessarily sold on it. They're like, you're just crazy. You're crazy, John. And they don't necessarily have the same, like, I came into this with no bad blood with anybody in the hot sauce industry, right? So they have their own things. And so like, I think, again, collaborate, that would be the one, that the stealing the Fort George's 3-way collaboration that all the young up and coming craft breweries, it was kind of like getting on Hot Ones for some up and coming hot sauce places. If you got that 3-way IPA collaboration with Fort George, like, it kind of put you on the map. It helped you win awards. We talk about the hot sauce awards and mustard awards. The beer awards could it could change the trajectory of your brewery if you won, especially an IPA. And getting that collaboration with Fort George was that way. And I was lucky enough to be with a brewery that got it and go. And so, that idea of like working with those three guys just because they were here, but also the coolest thing that 3-way ever did is they reach down to like an up and comer too. And I've always loved that. And I think, they were the first ones to do like the diversely owned breweries as well. So like Claire, female owned hot sauce companies are very near and dear to my heart as well. So like I try to, if I stumble upon a female owned brand, I'm always buying it and trying to like shout them out.
Appreciate that.
Another reason I love what I love about Earthquake Spices is it's a couple. It's a man and a woman, and they both do their thing, and they're both amazing. And she faces all of those things that the craft beer industry used to do to women in the industry as well. It's where they like look over her shoulder to ask her husband a question. Or Claire, one of the episodes you were talking about coming to a hot sauce booth and having guys, big fat guys with mustaches like me, look to.
I'm pretty sure I didn't phrase it that way.
To any man to look to any man that you might be near to talk to them first. And I've taken that internal. So like even Saturday at the Cheney Farmers Market, like I made sure that I was not doing that because that like,
and again, in fairness, like I have to make sure I don't do that too. Cause usually if a man and a woman walk up together, it is in fact usually the guy who's interested. And I have to make sure that I'm not just going on assumptions and biases.
Yeah. Well, and it's good sales. You know, I'm the sales guy of the company. Like the sales guy thing, and this goes back to the small town hero thing I was talking about. There was definitely a time in craft beer, just like I feel like there's a time in craft hot sauce, where people will only go to specialty shops or people will only go to Whole Foods to try to sell their hot sauce, and because they think that like Joe's Corner Shop couldn't possibly understand what we were doing. And craft beer lost a lot of time in growing. Like they still grew and they got into it eventually. They lost a lot of time skipping over the corner stores because they're like, they sell malt liquor, they whatever. I try to do that on my sales day every day. Like I don't try to judge someone that comes to the farmer's market, like whether they might want to buy my sauce or whatever. I walk into every account with the same idea of like, you know, Ace Hardware is kind of known for hot sauce, so that was like a different one. But like I've gone to, like I said, tattoo shops, barbers, any place that has a reseller's license for any sort of swag that they might be doing. I go in there and I always sample, and my barbershop it's the barbershop that I use. He's the one who cut this fierce mullet for me. He sells like a case of hot sauce a week, and
that's awesome.
You know, that relationship is awesome. He's telling other people, hey, you like hot sauce? Do you like local hot sauce? And he tells that story. So, thank you for everything that you guys do. All the back episodes that I've been listening to, I feel like I get a couple gems from each one.
That's awesome.
I do too.
That's awesome.
All right, let's get to the next question.
From them.
we got to get to the next question, or the edit's going to be really long. Let's see here. If you were a cave person, sorry. If you had to pare down to only one sauce, which would it be?
Smoky Hob.
There we go.
It was the first one that I made with my dad, and I use that one the most out of the 5 that we have. It's not necessarily the top seller anymore, but I couldn't lose that one for my own personal things.
Now, if you were a cave person, caveman, and would you be a hunter or a gatherer, and why?
I think I would be a hunter. I like traveling, Spike, and I like finding like the next new account, so to speak. So I think I would be a hunter.
All right. Let's see. Describe your favorite sauce from your own line, without saying a single ingredient or heat level.
Good on a hot dog.
Okay. If Pepto-Bismol asked you to make a hot sauce actually using Pepto-Bismol, what flavors and heat would you use?
So I've been thinking about this one a lot. I cheated. I've been thinking about this forever. So it would be a strawberry mojito hot sauce, and we'd get some fresh strawberries. We'd lean into like the minty, so like mojito-ish. I don't think you could actually use. This is how much I thought about this. I don't think you could actually use fresh lime because it would like coagulate weird with the Pepto-Bismol itself. So I was thinking powdered lime to get the lime essence in the mojito, and then just strawberry mojito hot sauce.
Awesome. That's it. We're done.
I made it through the gauntlet.
Thank you. This has been a Spike Mind Media production.